Hello students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello everybody and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Modern World History series by looking at war in Southeast Asia. Don't forget that there's a link for a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description. Feel free to use it. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize for any mispronunciations ahead of time. I do my best. Okay, let's go. In the 1800s, the French ruled the area in Southeast Asia called French Indochina. During World War II, Japan invaded that region, but faced resistance from guerrillas. After the war, the French tried to re-establish authority in Vietnam. However, forces led by communist leader Ho Chi Minh fought the colonialists. The French left Vietnam in 1954 after a Vietnamese victory at Dien Bien Phu. After that, Ho controlled the northern part of Vietnam, while the United States supported the non-communist government in the south. Ho wanted to unite Vietnam. He provided aid to the National Liberation Front, or Viet Cong, a communist guerrilla organization in the south. American leaders saw Vietnam as an extension of the Cold War and developed the domino theory. This was the belief that if communists won in South Vietnam, then communism could spread to other governments in Southeast Asia. After a North Vietnamese attack on a U.S. Navy destroyer, Congress authorized the president to take military measures to prevent further communist aggression in Southeast Asia. Despite massive American support, the South Vietnamese failed to defeat the Viet Cong and their North Vietnamese allies. During the Tet Offensive, the North Vietnamese attacked cities all over the south. Even though the communists were not able to hold any cities, it marked a turning point in U.S. public opinion. Upset by civilian deaths from the U.S. bombing of North Vietnam, as well as growing American casualties, many Americans began to oppose the war. President Nixon came under increasing pressure to terminate the conflict. The Paris Peace Accord of 1973 established a ceasefire, and American troops began to withdraw. 2 years later, Communist North Vietnam conquered South Vietnam. Neighboring Cambodia and Laos also ended up with communist governments. In Cambodia, guerrillas called the Khmer Rouge came to power. Led by the brutal dictator Pol Pot, their policies led to a genocide that killed about 1/3 of the population. When Vietnam invaded Cambodia, the genocide ended. Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge were forced to retreat. Communism did not spread any farther in Southeast Asia. Alrighty then, let's recap. In the 1800s, the French ruled French Indochina, but their colonial joyride hit a World War II speed bump when Japan invaded. After the war, Ho Chi Minh and his communist forces sent the French packing in 1954 after the showdown at Dien Bien Phu. Ho took charge of North Vietnam, while the U.S. backed the South, seeing Vietnam as a Cold War chessboard and fearing the domino effect. The Viet Cong in the South, with Ho's help, kept things messy, and despite America's heavy firepower, the Tet Offensive turned U.S. public opinion against the war. By 1973, a ceasefire had the U.S. heading for the exit, but by 1975, Communist North Vietnam took the whole country. Neighboring Cambodia fell to the Khmer Rouge, where Pol Pot's horrific reign turned genocide into policy until Vietnam invaded and ended the madness. Communism didn't spread further in Southeast Asia, proving that even dominoes don't always fall in line. There you have it, folks. That is war in Southeast Asia, nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Go nuts on those like and subscribe buttons for me. See y'all next time on Nutshelled History.